Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my TV and movie wrap up for March and April. I only watched one TV show and 3 movies, but I honestly didn't really want to wait any longer to talk about some stuff. I don't think I'm going to watch much in May or June. I have a lot going on in those months, so I don't know how much I'm going to watch, so I kind of just wanted to film this wrap up now before it was too late. So I think I'll start with the TV show first because it's just one TV show. I finished Modern Family. In my last wrap up, I was on season 4, I think. And I did actually finish season 5 all the way to season 11 in March. I finished it like March 18th. I love this show. I'm obsessed with it. I'm actually currently rewatching it already. I'm on my second watch on season 7, I think. Or I might be already on season 8, but I love this show so much. I can't believe I put off this show for so long. I just love it so much, and it's a new comfort show for me. I'm just always rewatching episodes. I love it, and I feel like I'm gonna continuously rewatch episodes all the time. I will say the last season I didn't love. It just felt a little off, I think, because you know it's ending. I understand that they were kind of wrapping up like characters' stories, you know, and having people be in relationships. The last season just felt a little off for me. I don't know why. I also personally did not like the last 2 episodes. It kind of just made me sad. I think like the way that the last 2 episodes ended. I wish it was a type of scene where everybody was in like one house eating like a meal or something, and then like the show ended that way. You know what I mean? Like I just felt like it ended kind of bittersweet. I don't know. My favorite characters are Phil, Mitch and Cam, Gloria, and Lily. I would say those are like my 5 favorite characters from the whole show, but I love them all. Like I do love the whole cast. I just feel like I love those characters specifically, and I love all of their scenes and all of their storylines. I do wish Lily had a little bit more of a storyline as she got older. I feel like she didn't really have much going on in the later seasons, which was kind of unfortunate. I wish they would have done something a little bit more with her character. Oh, that episode with Phil's dad, sobbed. That was the most beautiful episode I have ever seen in my entire life. And it's just, I sobbed. I also cried so much when I finished the last 2 episodes. Everything was just so emotional. I love the show very much, and I highly, highly recommend it. I know there are so many seasons. The first season is kind of slow. The second season, you're kind of feeling like the characters are finally going somewhere and like having some storylines. But by the 3rd season, I feel like all of the actors are very confident in their characters, and we actually have like a lot of plots and continuous plots, and I feel like the show truly picks up around the 3rd season, and that's like when I started really, really, really loving it. And I know that seems ridiculous to like give a show that many episodes and seasons a try to like finally get into it, but I just stuck with it because I figured why not? I had nothing else to watch at that point, so I was like, I'm just gonna keep going, and I fell in love with the show, and it's now one of my new favorite shows. I'm obsessed with it. I highly recommend it, like I said, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep rewatching it until I move back to either rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine or What We Do in the Shadows. Okay, now on to the movies. So the first one I watched was a rewatch for me, and that was Deathly Hallows Part 2. I've mentioned this in previous wrap-ups, but I was rewatching the movies because 2 of my friends have never seen them. So I was watching them with my friends for the first time, and I of course love these movies. They are my comfort movies, and it was fun to finally watch the last one with my friends. It was nice to also see like my friends' reactions to everything that happened in the last movie, all the revelations and all that kind of stuff. It was really fun to experience a last movie with somebody who's never seen them or read the books. That was really fun. I'm so happy we finally finished it. I think we started like August, and we obviously slowly made our way through all of them, and we finished the last one in March. It took us a long time to get through all the movies, but I'm really happy that we watched them all. It was really fun. Then I have 2 other movies that I watched for the first time. So the first one is The Tearsmith. This is a Netflix movie, and this one I actually gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not rating Modern Family and the Harry Potter movie because those are like favorites. So I feel like I talk about those a lot. So I don't feel like I need to give a rating. This is also an adaptation of a book, which I have not read, but I believe it was in Italian and it has been translated. The movie is also in Italian. I did watch it in Italian with English subtitles. Okay, I feel like the IMDb summary isn't really giving a summary. Sometimes our greatest fear is accepting that someone can honestly love us for who we are. Nika and Rigel are ready to figure it out together. I feel like the summary really isn't giving you much, but Nika and Rigel grew up in this orphanage together and they are now like 17, 18, and they get adopted by this couple, so they are now essentially like step siblings. I would say like the first 45 minutes of this movie really gripped me, and I definitely could not stop watching. I was definitely intrigued. The story was a little confusing at first. I didn't fully like understand the orphanage situation, and I didn't really understand why Rigel hated Nika. Like I feel like it wasn't really clear on like why he hated her at first. Like I know now why he hated her, or like acted like he hated her. I just feel like the characters really didn't have much going on. Like there wasn't much of a storyline other than them like getting over the trauma from the orphanage and them just trying to have like a normal life now. I loved their adopted parents. They were so kind and supportive and just so generous and understanding, and it felt like they really were there for the two kids that they adopted. I like how the movie kind of had this like black and blue vibe. There was a lot of like gloomy, rainy scenes. I really liked the overall aesthetic of the movie. The actors were great. Like I did like them, but I didn't really feel a lot of their chemistry. Like I didn't fully feel their connection. The whole like build up and then kind of the climax, I guess, of the story was very dramatic and very weird. They get into this like accident, let's just say. That, in my opinion, was like poorly filmed and poorly like executed. It just didn't really seem believable. It just seemed kind of like a weird scene. I'm talking about the scene like on the bridge, for those who've seen the movie. I felt like that scene was just very weird and like kind of corny. Does that make sense? I like how Nika really got to build friendships, and I liked her friend that she had in the orphanage. I forget her name. I liked that friendship, and then the friendship that she built in high school with the two other girls. I liked that. At this point, I kind of just expect all of these Netflix movies to have like crazy sex scenes. And honestly, they only had like, well, they had one very steamy scene, but there was really like no nudity in that one. And then their like actual sex scene, they were both just topless. And honestly, it was kind of nice. Like I just expected something a little bit more like intense and crazy, and it was just very normal, I guess. The ending scene was a little too short for my liking. I wish we would have got like more of a completed ending. It was just kind of like a flash of like what their life turned out to be, and I wish that was a little bit longer. I feel like the movie could have been a little bit longer, but also at the same time, I don't feel like there was much of a plot for it to be longer, but it did feel like quite a short movie. Honestly, I could see myself rewatching this movie, so I didn't hate it, but I just feel like there were definitely some flaws in the movie that I couldn't overlook. But it was fun. It was a fun time, and I'll probably end up rewatching it. And then the last movie that I watched was Saltburn, which I gave a 1.5 out of 5 stars. I initially had given this movie, I think 2 stars or 2.5 maybe. I don't fully remember what I initially gave it, but then I was comparing it to The Tearsmith, which like do not have any comparisons story-wise or anything like that. But I was just thinking about like how much I enjoyed it, and honestly I did not really enjoy Saltburn like at all. I did watch this movie with my friends, and I was spoiled on pretty much like all of the big scenes, like the tub scene, the vampire scene, the graveyard scene. Like I knew all of those scenes. I also did know about the plot twist, so all of that was not shocking to me whatsoever because I was spoiled on all that stuff on TikTok. I never really thought I was going to watch the movie, so the spoilers I didn't care about, but my friends wanted to watch the movie and I was like, yeah, sure, like let's watch it, it's fine. I think genuinely the only things I did like about this movie was the directing and the cinematography and the whole aesthetic of the film. I thought it was beautifully shot, and I loved the aesthetic and the whole like vibe. And I loved Alison Oliver's performance as Venetia. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I loved her performance, especially her performance in the bathtub scene. I loved that. I thought she did such a fantastic job. I also did like Rosamund Pike, but I didn't really care for her character. Like, I just didn't really like the family. I thought they were very annoying, and there was a lot of back and forth that was just like so repetitive, and honestly, it kind of felt like hard to keep up with everything that was going on. In my opinion, it just felt like the story tried too hard. It tried too hard to be unique or edgy, and it just didn't work for me. The pacing also kind of felt off. Like, it was kind of confusing on the timeline of everything and like how long Oliver had known Felix. I was kind of confused on that timeline a little bit. Like, it just didn't seem like it was clear how long they were friends and stuff, and like how long between each incident happened. I guess like I was kind of confused on how long all of that took place. I feel like the deeper meaning of this movie is quite obvious, and I didn't feel like I needed it to be dumbed down to me. Like, I totally understood everything that was kind of going on, and like the way that Oliver did things. Like, I totally understood all of that. I think my only question is I don't really understand Oliver's motive for things. I don't really want to spoil too much if you haven't seen it. I'm sure everybody has, but I don't really understand like what the point of everything was for him. Like, the obvious things are there, but like, is there a deeper meaning to that? Because like I'm picking up on all the obvious, like, straightforward stuff. I really did not like this movie. It honestly just felt like a shock value film that was trying too hard and lacked any real depth. So those are all the TV shows and movies that I watched in the last 2 months. Let me know if you have watched any of the things that I talked about and what you think about them, or let me know any of your recent watches, or if you have any recommendations for me, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, follow me on all my other social media, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.